Time has come to show the greenhouse project.
I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but I just went to pick up some glass from a Facebook marketplace for the greenhouse. 11 sheets at 24 inches wide, 6 feet tall.
And all of the pieces made it back to the house with no breakage. Lots of stuff to clean up on them yet though. So the next step was to lay out the foundation. While digging it out, I found a bone. And then I put in some hard pack and grabbed some bricks from a back pile and started laying out what would be the flooring of the greenhouse. At this point, I was pretty confident I could get this done in a weekend. The original plans were a 6 foot by 8 foot greenhouse with I think it was a 6 foot wall, and then it was like basically going to be pitched and whatnot. And kind of went back to the drawing board midway through the summer because I had started in on the foundation for 6 by 8 space and gotten all those pylons poured, and was chatting with my wife about what she wanted to put in there. And the more she talked, the more it was like, this is way more than a 6 foot by 8 foot space that you're talking about, especially 6 foot by 8 foot by, like 8 foot pinnacle, 6 foot, walls, like a normal small greenhouse, starter greenhouse. So the plan was to extend it to 6 by 10 using the original pylons that were there, and just building out from the end with an extension. I did want to use as much free wood as I could to build this, but I also needed to use some traditional 2x4s from the big box store, as well as some that I had from some pallets to put this together so that it would be nice and strong. The area of the yard that it sits in can have gusting winds up to 65 miles an hour occasionally. At one point we had a carport set up out there, and overnight one night it just blew into the neighbor's yard even though it was anchored to the ground very securely. Just last weekend I got out and was able to put up the trusses that I had put together, and I did this a little bit differently by basically putting in the one at the very end and affixing that temporarily, and then setting all of the trusses on top and running some 2x4s down through the middle there so that I could lay them all down and individually position them without them falling down through the middle. As I was going through here, I was using 6-inch GRKs and later on timber lock screws to tie those rafters directly to the frame. I worked on putting in those tie braces at the top, and that pretty much took me through to the end of last weekend. And I lost the light because around here it gets dark around 4:30. And so there it is. The framing is put together and I've got blocking in, and it's nice and secure, and I was jumping on it and wiggling it around, and I think it's far stronger than anything I've built in that area before. I went ahead and used some pallet wood as trim across the front just to see what that would look like. I will be using the pallet wood as cladding and other things in the future parts of this build. Down the center is a secondary rafter that basically marks the very center, so it's the weird doubling there in the middle, but that's there because I want to run a light in the center. And the front face of the building here, where the door will go in, is nice and solid, nice and strong, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out, but I have a lot left to do on this particular greenhouse project. Well, there it is. That is the frame that I have so far. It is currently Wednesday night around 8:15. This is the 5th time I've recorded this, so hopefully I get it right this time. And I am basically waiting now on some parts. I had to get glazing tape. The big box store had it, but it was really expensive, so I ordered it online, and that should be coming in this weekend. I'll need that to put the glass up. And I also need to break down all those pallets you saw in the pilot, because they're going to be things like trim material and cladding for the outside of the building. And then I'm going to go to the big box store and buy that corrugated plastic material for the roof and get that mounted as well. I was planning on using something I could find on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist for free, but nobody's giving that stuff away for free right now. Okay, so those parts of the project will at least get the outside exterior of the building packaged up, and I'll obviously be painting it and things like that. But in about a week's time, I'll be traveling for work for a while, and so that means I'm going to try to get as much of this done as I can, and if I don't get it accomplished in time, then it'll be something how you have to pick up later in the middle of December. Anyhow, if these kinds of projects are interesting to you, I will be doing more projects of this nature with more long-form content now that I have time to work on things here in the workshop during the winter time. My name is John Decker. This has been Weekend Projects with John. Please like and subscribe. Join the 300 plus already subscribed. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Love to see this channel make it to 1,000. That'd be fantastic. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.